Hey everyone, it's Papa Drum Stuff here, and let me tell you something you might already know. Drumming is more than just banging on things. It's the heart and soul of music. It's what makes you want to move, makes you want to shake your ass. You got your jazz cats laying down those smooth grooves, your rock and rollers bringing the thunder, and everything in between. It's a language all its own, and just like any language, you got your masters. So if you're ready to dive into the world of rhythm with me, buckle up. We're about to explore the legends, the icons, the ones who made us all say, "Holy hell, did they just do that on a drum kit?" Get ready for the best drummers of all time. So buckle up and let's go. First up, we're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Buddy Rich. This guy was a machine behind the kit. I mean, the speed, the precision, the power. It was like watching a goddamn octopus on fire. He could play things that would make your head spin, and he did it all with this effortless grace that made you wonder if he was even human. The guy started playing drums when he was a baby, touring the world before he even hit puberty. He was known for his incredible solos, man. I'm talking about show-stopping, jaw-dropping displays of virtuosity that left audiences speechless. He pushed the boundaries of what was possible on the drums. Buddy Rich wasn't just a drummer. He was a force of nature. He set the bar so high that even today, drummers are still trying to reach it. One of the things that made Buddy so unique was his incredible speed. The guy could play insanely fast, but it was never just about speed for him. It was always musical. He had this uncanny ability to make the drums sing, even at breakneck tempos. He influenced generations of drummers, from jazz cats to rock and roll animals. Even if you're not a drummer, you can't help but be blown away by his sheer talent. He was the real deal, a true innovator. And talk about influence. Buddy played with everyone, from Tommy Dorsey to Ella Fitzgerald. He even had his own band, the Buddy Rich Big Band, which became legendary in its own right. The man was a true icon, and his music continues to inspire and amaze drummers and music lovers all over the world. Buddy Rich, you were the man. All right, let's talk about another legend, Gene Krupa. This cat was a showman through and through. He attacked the drums with infectious energy, getting the whole crowd moving. Gene brought the drums to the forefront. Drummers were usually in the back, but not Gene. He was integral to the band. A master of dynamics, from whisper to roar. His tom-tom work was legendary. He made them sing and swing, all about energy and joy. A true original, shaping the sound of swing. Gene Krupa was a swing-era legend. He played with Benny Goodman's band, the biggest band of the time. Think Foo Fighters of the swing era. Gene's drumming was key to their success. His powerful style was perfect for swing. He was a master of the drum solo. Gene formed his own band and toured until 1973. His influence is still felt today. Remember Gene Krupa, the king of swing. All right, so we're talking Max Roach, man. This cat was a game changer. He took jazz drumming and flipped it on its head. Max was all about pushing boundaries. He wasn't just keeping time, he was weaving intricate rhythms. The dude was a master of improvisation, always exploring, always pushing limits. It wasn't just about speed, man. It was about the feeling, the emotion. He could go from delicate rhythms to explosive bursts of energy, all while maintaining control. Max was a true innovator. He proved drums weren't just for keeping time. They were an instrument of expression and complexity. But Max was more than just a drummer, man. He was an artist, an activist, a voice for change. He used his platform to speak out against injustice, to fight for equality, and to inspire others to do the same. He understood the power of music, man. He knew it could be a force for good, a way to bring people together and make a real difference in the world. And he lived that truth every day of his life. Max was a true icon, a legend who left an indelible mark on music and on the world. He was a true inspiration to me, man, and to countless other drummers out there. His dedication to his craft, his passion for justice, his unwavering belief in the power of music, those are the things that make Max Roach a true legend. Okay, let's talk about the Bonzo man, John Bonham, the absolute beast behind the kit for Led Zeppelin. When you think about the massive, thunderous sound of Zeppelin, you're hearing Bonham. This dude wasn't just playing drums, he was waging war on them. He hit those things with such force, such power, it was like the drums were lucky to survive a show. But it wasn't just brute force, man. Bonham had this incredible feel, this natural groove that was just infectious. He could make the simplest beat swing like crazy, or he could unleash these monstrous fills that would blow your mind. And talk about innovation. Bonham's use of the bass drum, man, it was revolutionary. He treated it like a lead instrument, creating these driving rhythms that became the backbone of Zeppelin's sound. Listen to When the Levee Breaks, man. That opening drum beat, it's iconic. It's Bonham at his absolute best. Powerful, innovative, and just plain cool. And it wasn't just the hard rock stuff. Check out No Quarter. Bonham's drumming on that track is atmospheric, almost mystical. He showed that he could be just as powerful and dynamic in a more restrained setting. The dude was a force of nature, man. He took drumming to a whole new level, and his influence on rock music is immeasurable. John Bonham, the Bonzo. He wasn't just a drummer, he was a legend. All right, we got to talk about Keith Moon, man. The absolute madman behind the kit for The Who. This guy was a whirlwind of energy, a force of nature. You never knew what he was going to do next, but you knew it was going to be explosive. Mooney wasn't just playing the drums, he was attacking them. He was a blur of arms and legs, smashing those things with reckless abandon. But here's the thing, man. As chaotic as it seemed, there was a method to his madness. He had this incredible sense of timing, this ability to pull back just when you thought the whole thing was going to fly apart. It was like he was teetering on the edge of chaos. Always in control. And his drum fills, man, they were legendary. He'd go off on these wild tangents, these crazy bursts of energy that were like nothing you'd ever heard before. Listen to My Generation, man. That drum solo at the end, it's pure Mooney. It's wild, it's unpredictable, it's absolutely brilliant. Or check out Won't Get Fooled Again. That massive drum sound, those driving rhythms, it's Keith Moon at his absolute best. He was the heartbeat of The Who, man, the engine that drove their sound. He was a true original, a one-of-a-kind drummer who redefined what it meant to be a rock star. He was the wild man, the prankster, the life of the party. Keith Moon, man, he was a legend. He lived fast, he played hard, and he left behind a legacy that continues to inspire drummers to this day. Neil Peart, man, talk about bringing the thunder. The guy was a monster behind the kit, but it wasn't just the chops, you know. It was like he approached the drums like a scientist, like some kind of rhythmic physicist. He had this insane technical ability, could play anything you could throw at him. But he also had this incredible musicality. He knew how to use all that power to serve the song, to create these epic soundscapes that took Rush's music to another level. And the dude could write, man, those lyrics, deep, man, profound. He wasn't just a drummer, he was a poet, a philosopher with drumsticks. I mean, how many drummers can say they inspired generations of musicians, not just drummers? Neil Peart was one of a kind, a true legend. One of the things that always blew me away about Neil was his creativity. He was always pushing the boundaries of what was possible on the drums, always experimenting with new sounds and techniques. I mean, the guy had a rotating drum kit, for crying out loud. Who does that? Only a true innovator, someone who wasn't afraid to take risks and push the limits. And he inspired so many drummers, myself included. He showed us that the drums could be more than just a rhythm instrument. They could be a voice, a way to tell stories and express emotions. Neil Peart wasn't just a drummer, he was an artist, and his legacy will continue to inspire and amaze us for generations to come. Stewart Copeland, man, talk about a unique voice on the drums. The Police were one of those bands that had this sound, this vibe, that was instantly recognizable, and a lot of that came from Stewart's drumming. He had this way of playing that was both powerful and intricate. He could lay down a heavy groove, but he could also throw in these unexpected fills and flourishes that kept you on the edge of your seat. And he wasn't afraid to experiment, man. He brought in all these different influences, from reggae to jazz to world music, and blended them together into this sound that was totally unique. He was like a mad scientist back there, but in a good way. He was always pushing the boundaries, always looking for new ways to make the drums sound cool and interesting. Now, Some people might say that Stewart wasn't a technical drummer, and maybe that's true in the traditional sense, but what he lacked in technical wizardry, he more than made up for in feel and creativity. He understood the importance of space and dynamics, of knowing when to lay back and when to let loose. He knew how to make the drums breathe, how to create tension and release, and that's what made him so great. He wasn't just a drummer, he was a musician. He understood how to use the drums to serve the song, to create something that was bigger than the sum of its parts. Stewart Copeland's drumming was the heartbeat of the Police, and it's a heartbeat that continues to resonate with music lovers all over the world. All right, so we're talking about drummers, right? The heart, the soul, the backbone of every great band. Drumming chose me. It wasn't some big plan, you know? I was all about the sixth string, screaming my lungs out, but when I sat down at the kit, it just felt right. It's about feeling the music, not just playing it, connecting with the other guys, creating something bigger. Now, some folks might say I'm a little biased, putting myself on this list. But here's the thing. I've always believed that drumming is about more than just keeping a beat. It's about driving the song, pushing the limits, making people move. It's about that raw energy, that primal scream that comes from deep down inside. It's about losing yourself in the music, becoming one with the drums. And that's what I've always tried to do, man. Just pour my heart and soul into every beat, every fill, every cymbal crash. It's not about being flashy or technical. It's about serving the song. So yeah, maybe I'm not the most technically gifted drummer on this list, but I play with passion, with heart, with everything I've got. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Now, we're talking about a true legend, a pioneer, a force of nature behind the kit Ginger Baker. This guy wasn't just a drummer, he was an innovator, a rule breaker, a true original. He took jazz drumming, threw it in a blender with rock and roll, and created something completely new and mind-blowing. Ginger was a master of polyrhythms, man. He could play different time signatures with each limb, creating these complex, hypnotic grooves that would leave you breathless. He was like a one-man percussion orchestra, pushing the boundaries of what was possible on the drums. But it wasn't just his technical ability that made him so special. It was his attitude, his intensity, his sheer power behind the kit. He attacked the drums with a ferocity that was both terrifying and exhilarating to witness. Ginger was a wild man, no doubt about it. He lived life on his own terms, and his drumming reflected that. He was unpredictable, explosive, always pushing the limits. He could go from a whisper to a roar in a heartbeat. He was a true original, and his influence is immeasurable. He inspired countless drummers to break the rules. He showed us that drums could be a weapon of mass sonic destruction, and that's what made Ginger Baker so damn great. He wasn't afraid to be different, to be loud, to be himself. He played with passion, with fire, with wild abandon. So here's to you, Ginger. Thanks for the music, the madness, and the inspiration. You were one of a kind, man. Well, there you have it, folks. 9 of the best to ever do it. 9 drummers who shaped the sound of music as we know it. From jazz to rock, from swing to punk, these legends brought the beat, the power, and the soul to countless classic tracks. But this list is just a starting point, man. There are so many other amazing drummers out there, past and present, who deserve to be celebrated. So go explore, discover your own favorites, and never stop banging on things. Thanks for joining us on this rhythmic journey through drumming history. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more drum stories on Papa Drum Stuff.